John Mills here with John's View Photography, and I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on taking moon shots. Now, my setup right now is a Canon 60D and a Sigma 50 and 500mm lens. I've got it all the way out to 500mm. Now, just a note, you don't need this advanced of a camera nor this long of a lens in order to take really good moon shots. Really, anything 200, 300 millimeters, and any SLR is going to be able to give you great shots of the moon. Alright, a couple basic settings really quick. My ISO is set at 100. Moon's a very bright object in our sky, so we don't need the ISO, nor do we really want to deal with the noise. Shutter's at 160th of a second. Reason that the shutter's set so quickly is because the moon moves quite fast across our sky. I had a previous video where I actually showed how fast it was moving across the sky and had it set at about a 10 times zoom on the camera, and actually filmed that with my phone and kind of showed you what was going on there. Anyway, aperture set at 11. Now we want our aperture sort of tight. We don't want to have it all the way out. I believe the 500 millimeters, this lens will go out to 5.3 aperture. That's not what we want, because we want to keep the moon relatively sharp. So we'll turn the live view back on real quick. Okay, like I was talking about with zooming in on the moon, a lot of people are going to want to use their autofocus system in order to focus in on the moon and take that shot. I have found it doesn't work that well. I actually put it in manual focus mode, and then I zoom in 10 times digitally on the moon and adjust the focus by hand. Now, I think that has to do with the cross-type autofocus, actually looking for the differences, or essentially looking for the contrast in the moon. If you look at it just through the video right here, all you really see is a white dot. Honestly, even as advanced as these cameras are, all they're really looking at as well is a white dot. So they have a hard time focusing. I'm sure there's cameras out there that can do it. I'm not really concerned with dropping those kind of bucks to get one of those cameras when this is working for moon shots just fine. Anyway, one of the things that you're going to want to note, especially if you have your settings set exactly like that, ISO of 100, aperture of 11, 160th of a second, is that your exposure is going to be, which in this case is 2 2/3 underexposed. When you're taking shots of the moon, that's actually correct. You want to be underexposed when taking shots of the moon, because your camera wants to balance the difference between black and white and search for the middle area, for the gray area. So it's going to bleach the moon out completely white, and it's going to darken the skies completely black. Really great for portraiture and landscapes. For moon shots, it kills you. So, we're underexposed, we've zoomed in, and we're going to take our shot. Now, note when I take the shot, my light comes on, 2-second timer, and it takes the picture. Now, the reason I have the timer on is because I don't want to be touching the camera. As much as my setup, really good tripod, ball head, it's balanced really well, I don't want to have anything touching the camera because there still is some shake. Doesn't matter if you're using, a shorter 200 millimeter lens, or if you've got something really long like I've got on this camera, it's gonna hurt you. We can't hold perfectly still. It just doesn't happen. If you have image stabilization on your lens, that's great. I still suggest not having your hand on the camera when taking the picture. You want to get it as clear as possible. Now that we've got our shot, we're going to take it back home and we're going to throw it into Photoshop, or possibly something you can do in Lightroom. I know a lot of people out there are working with freeware. I'll actually be showing you how to edit this in Photoshop Elements, kind of a middle range there. So let's go back home to the computer and see what we can do.